But I mean, Tottenham Hotspurs are a team in absolute turmoil. I can't describe it any other way. The only thing that they have got that is keeping Ange in a job, and we like Ange, and we know that the Tottenham fans have. I don't know about you, right? I'm going for the tangent a little bit, but it seems to me that the Tottenham fans have only just figured out that maybe it isn't these different managers that can't get Tottenham to work. Yeah. They've kind of now pointed it at Daniel Levy, haven't they? And they're calling for him to leave. Hello, welcome to a late, but better late than never, FDP.
Hello. Yeah, sorry for the delay, guys. It's been tough, but there is a good reason why this is a day late, which you will see at some stage this week.
Yeah, we need to get better at scheduling this stuff, don't we?
And we need to get better at actually telling each other before we intro and then wigging it on a live recording.
Yeah, well, people like to know, don't they? They like to just know what happens between us and what happens like off air and on air. And yeah, it's glitz and glam off air, isn't it? So we need to tell them what we're doing.
Exactly. If you don't want to know, guys, just let us know and we'll cut this shit out next time. But yeah, just let us know. Get in touch and actually let us know. That'd be great.
Yeah, what do you want to hear? Do you want to hear?
Not us. Gary Lineker, Michael Richards. Look at that. Great mind. How funny. How you doing, though, mate?
This is...
Great minds again. Yeah, I'm good, mate.
This is scary.
I'm all good. I'm a little bit sad, but I'm okay. What about you?
Why are you sad?
Well, our Man v Fat season is officially over. So we've completed, our second season now. And It's our first time that we have come away empty-handed. We lost in the final of our cup game. Pretty dramatically, let's say.
It was, devastating.
17-9 overall. Pitch.
Yeah, we started off with a 13-9 deficit and they beat us 4-0.
That was such a shit game.
And then I subbed for another team and lost 4-0 again.
You did? What a shitty night you've had.
I played 55 minutes of football and conceded 8 and scored none. That is going to go down in FTP history, I reckon.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm lost for words. I don't know what to say to you.
I did say...
That's poor.
The funny thing was, Gav was playing on the same team as me for the second game. I walked up to him and I went, this is really shit for our confidence, isn't it? We've been slaughtered in 2 different games, and then they very nearly scored because I was too busy talking to Gav.
Fuck. Hang on, this was during a game. You don't do that. What's wrong with you?
Well, I was waiting for the corner to come in, so I thought I'd just chat to Gav.
I'll tell you what, right? I need to call you out on one of your corners.
Okay.
You kicked it so far, it basically went out for a throw-in on the opposite side of the pitch last night.
That wasn't a corner, that was a kick-in.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. That was pretty spectacularly failed because of the wind.
It was because of the wind, yeah.
Yeah, it was. I will give you that. But honestly, when you kicked it, I thought, let's get... it's just flown.
The thing...
Like bicycle kick, but they've got to be like 50 foot tall.
The thing was, right...
Peter Crouch couldn't even hit that.
There was no one to pass to. The only person that was making any movement was Big Ali Campbell, who's a friend of the pod, as you like to call him. He is, by the way. That wasn't a dig, Ali, by the way.
You like to call him it. He's a bit of a dick, though. Cruel. So cruel. Yeah.
So I hit it thinking he might get on the head of that because he's the only one that's in moving. And it just went up and up and up. And I thought, the only good thing about me, sometimes, is my passing. I can be pretty accurate with my passing. Everything else is a bit... But my passing is all right. And I thought even that's a bit much for me. But yeah, it was definitely taken by the wind. But yeah that was frustrating.
Well, there was, I'll admit to this, I don't know whether you clocked it or not, but I obviously took a goal kick and I aimed for Gav on the sort of middle left of the pitch and I kind of sliced it a little bit and it went straight to you. And I was like, what a fucking kick that was.
I know, I didn't notice that.
You didn't control it, annoyingly. You couldn't get it under control. Someone was like, I think they were kind of nudging you as you were going for it. But I thought, I could probably pull this off. This was good.
I didn't know.
I was aiming that way and it went that way. Oh dear! Oh no, it's okay. Will's there. Thank God.
I don't remember that at all. It was a hard game.
It was a hard game, but we both got a loss again, which is great.
Yes,
you worked incredibly hard, didn't you, last week? But the food let you down. But exercise, you fucking smashed it.
Exercise-wise, yeah, I did really well. Food, I definitely made up for the calories that I'd burnt. Let's just say that. My particular favourite, right? So, Sonic 3, popcorn, mini eggs, mate. Popcorn and mini eggs was an absolute delight. I can't lie to you.
I can well imagine. I told the general about it, and she just went, "Oh yeah, he was, wasn't he?"
Yeah. We talk a lot.
Yeah, we do. I couldn't remember if you was on loudspeaker. You're not normally.
No.
We had this conversation off air. We can't do that.
We did. We had a couple of conversations, didn't we? We were talking about your ego.
Oh, I don't have an ego, but I get your point, but I don't have an ego.
You don't have an ego. Everyone has an ego.
I'm just thirsty. I don't have an ego. I'm just secretly thirsty, and I try to pretend I'm not.
Yeah. There's like an inner version of you that completely gaslights yourself that you're not desperate for friends and loves to be liked. You're like
an inner. What was it you said?
You've got an inner Tom Davis. Just desperate to get out. Like, I just see you sometimes, like talking to people, and I'm like, he is just. This is Tom Davis. This is full Tom Davis. And then you come out and you're like, oh yeah, he really likes me. And yeah, it's really off-putting when you're typing, by the way, when I'm trying to talk.
I was writing notes to us. I was writing a note to us for later.
Yeah, so it was funny. Yeah. Your inner Tom Davis comes out all the time. You like to be liked, but you sit there and go, I haven't got an ego. Of course, Ben. We believe you.
Okay, whatever. So, moving on then. What would you like to talk about this week? This week, William?
Well, there has been quite a bit going on, actually, isn't there, in the world of football?
I feel like everything's happened Monday night, so I'm kind of glad we're recording Tuesday lunchtime.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So, yeah, let's start with the sort of transfer-y type news. So, Neymar has left Al Hilal after a very successful 2 years, 7 games.
Yeah.
And he is about to join Santos, where I hope he gets more game time for him, but, is he going to?
Yeah. Do you know what? I don't know how you feel about this, but I really love when players, especially of Neymar's calibre, and obviously the attention and the clubs he's played for and things over the years, returning to boyhood clubs to play. I just love it.
Yeah.
Like Santi Cazorla's done it. And he literally gets paid the minimum possible. He donates it all to the club's charity fund. Little things like that. I think it's just classy, and I just love that kind of story behind it as well. Of where'd you play? Oh, back at my home club for the last year or two of my career. I don't care about the money. Obviously, Neymar's earned a fortune by just sitting there, just chilling with a broken ankle, or whatever it was. So he's quite happy with that. But being able to do that, I just love it.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and he is. This is kind of leading on to two things now, because I've got a little game for you.
Go on.
Because he is. So I've got two things. He is world class, right? Or he has been world class. He's not world class anymore.
He was absolutely prime Barcelona. Neymar was world class.
I have got a game for you, right? Are you ready? I've not got a jingle for it yet, but it could be something.
Are we doing the game now, are we?
We're going to do the game now. And this is like a bit of a series, right? So it's like a blind 5. So you may have seen this on like social media and stuff like that. So I'm going to give you 5 names. Yeah?
I've got to position them.
In their prime, you've got to position them, but you have to do it 1. So you have to write it down.
Right,
okay. So if I say Neymar, you have to put him, where are you going to put him? 1 to 5. So prime players.
Okay,
so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Neymar goes in, yeah?
Yep, go
Next
for it.
one, Ronaldinho.
So hang on, Neymar, have I got to give Neymar a
You've got to
number?
Put him in a number, of where you're going to rate him.
Okay, so Neymar, I don't know. Neymar, I'm going to say 3.
Neymar 3.
Ronaldinho I'm going to say 4.
Ronaldinho 4. So you've got the Brazilians in 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Lionel Messi.
1.
1.
Yeah.
Ronaldo.
What 1?
Cristiano.
2.
Okay. Thierry Henry.
5. He should not be 5.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to throw a curveball and do like Hleb or someone like that. I was like reserving that 5th spot.
Mate.
No.
When I thought about this, I was like, Henry's going last. I have to put Henry in last. And it couldn't have gone any better. So Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, Ronaldinho, Thierry Henry.
Do you know what's even more annoying is I was toying with Neymar to go 4th. I was like 4, then Ronaldinho. I was like, well, he's better. Okay, well played. Well played.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll do one for you next week. We'll alternate it each week.
Okay, all right. Midfielders next week.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would also like to do another little one next week, or maybe we could do like an FDP mini or an FDP short.
An FDP short.
FDP
what are you
short.
talking? What are you saying?
So I heard on another podcast that we do mention quite a lot with Gary Lineker, Michael Richards, and Alan Shearer. Gary Lineker talk about what he would describe as world class. So what he says is he has a 23-man squad of world class players.
Really? Okay.
And if you are world class, you get in that squad.
Okay. That's a cool approach. I like that.
So I want us to each do a 23-man squad of world-class players right now.
In this current time. Okay.
In this current time, who is in our 23-man squad? So,
are we basing this on a formation as well? Because I see that kind of goes with who goes in the squad.
That's exactly what I was going to say. My team is going to face your team. So you have to have a 23-man squad that can... So you can't have 23 strikers. You can't
obviously not. I didn't know whether we were doing
a specific. You have to have a.
Henri's still up there.
Yeah.
Number 5, obviously.
Obviously,
he's still there.
But it's current players right on their performance right now. So can you have Bukayo Saka in there because he's injured? Can you have Haaland in there?
Hang on, so you're doing it as of that week?
Right now.
Not like this year or anything like that. That's tough, man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We need some time on this. Are we doing this for next week, are we?
Maybe for next week, yeah. See how we go. Because it seems like Rodri's not going to be in the world-class team because he's out for the rest of the season.
Big.
And then maybe we could do one together of an add Rodri and Bukayo in from just this season or something like that, just to see how different it would be.
Yeah, we could do that.
Cool.
We could do that.
Let us know whether you think that's a good idea or not. It could just be complete shit and we're just excited when we shouldn't be.
I'm sure we're going to get some abuse on our teams next week anyway, but once it's out, let us know what you think. Come up with your alternative.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I just want to say quickly, just so completely unrelated, but it really made me laugh. This is how my brain works. Did you see, do you follow Crouchy's Pod on Instagram?
I think so, yeah.
Did you see the story they put up on Sunday night? So they've got an Instagram page of the podcast, a Wikipedia page or something of their podcast. And it says it's hosted at the moment by Peter Crouch, Chris Stark, Steve Hostwell. It really got me. Because I was thinking, maybe we could do like a team name for our World Class 23 and stuff. And I was like, team names, yeah, funny name. Oh yeah, got to mention that because it really made me laugh. I know it's not in our notes. It proper made me chuckle when I saw it. I was like, who did this? Because it's obviously edited by randomers. It's not them.
Yeah.
So someone's like, this is well funny.
But I also think that does count for you because you're Sewell. So Sewell, it's Wells in there. So Ben Hostwell. It works for you as well.
I think you're clutching at straws, but I appreciate you trying to get me involved.
Well, I think
that. So Steve, hit me up, mate. We'll do a Sidwell and Sewell collab.
People need to write in their best Ben Sewell stuff.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
There you go.
It'll just be me and you emailing, going like, Ben Sewell. Or Dave, if you're listening, but like, Ben Sowswell. 5 years I've had that.
What?
Sowswell, because he thought it was funny.
Okay.
That's my name on his phone now as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that's been for years.
great. This is perfect. Yeah, this is the sort of shit that we need just to fucking launch at Ben. This is exactly what I want.
3 years you've been waiting for this moment.
This is what makes the perfect podcast.
Right, should we actually go back on track? So I have no idea how long we've been recording, but we've done nothing yet.
Anthony has just moved from Manchester United on loan to Real Betis.
Yes, I saw this one courtesy of you this morning.
So firstly, before we get on to the best news, what do you think of Anthony's time at United? And
do you know what? I don't think flop covers it. I don't think there's a word strong enough to cover what he's done and to summarise.
I've heard it labelled as the worst Manchester United transfer of all time.
Him or borderline Sanchez, because he was pretty awful as well at United, and he didn't stay for that long either. Anthony, they struggled to get rid of him.
Whereas
Sanchez at least got a transfer reasonably quickly.
But the thing for Anthony though, he sort of came at a time when I think, was it the previous season, Manchester United had put a bid in for like 50 million, 56 million, for him, between 50 and 60 million.
No, that was earlier in that transfer window. It was the same transfer window when they signed him in the end. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think the season before they put a bid in for him as well. And then all of a sudden, Ten Hag came in and went, right, was it 80 million?
Yeah, something like 84 or something. A ridiculous amount. It's well over what his release clause was.
I think at the time he was like the fourth or fifth most expensive transfer into an English team.
Just insane.
And
then Chelsea came along.
Oh, yeah, and then, Arsenal and Chelsea did some bizzo for some central midfielders and knocked it all out of the park. Yeah. But I just find it absolutely insane. He started off well. I think he scored in 4 games in a row. And then from then on, he just had like this arrogance about him. And he reminds me a little bit of Rich Atkinson in that sense, is that like you just see him with like so much swag, aggression, and like confidence. Like he is not good enough to have that amount of confidence. Yeah. Like the only person I think good enough that can have the confidence of Anthony and Rich Atkinson is Ronaldo.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think there is anyone else on the planet that can do that. Some of the stares that he'd like get puff his chest out and give stares down the camera.
That substitute one where he's like, it's just so green.
It's so odd, isn't it?
Didn't he stare down a ref as well at one point? And the ref just looked at him like, what are you doing, mate? It's this guy.
It's so unusual, and you just wonder: is that his character? Is he doing it for entertainment? Like, what is it? Because he's making himself
no idea.
A bit of a dick, and then not being able to back it up on the pitch, and eventually falling out of favour with Ten Hag, and now Amorim has decided to let him go. And obviously, I think he had some legal issues in Brazil as well that I think has affected him mentally, and it impacted on his day to day, which the charges were all dropped, and everything appears to have been fabricated or whatever. We don't know. But then there comes to the announcement that he signed for Real Betis, and they put up a video, don't they?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen it at all.
It's on isn't it on our Instagram?
It's on our Instagram.
It'll still be up when you were listening to this.
Yeah, go and check it out, because it is. I feel like it's kind of probably used the FDP budget for their video.
Well, they wasted all their money on. Sorry, they spent all their money on him. So yeah, I think that's what's happened. Yeah.
It's I don't want to spoil it or anything, but yeah, go and check it out, because it is awful. It's hilarious. I had tears in my eyes watching that.
Yeah.
It's just so
budget friendly.
Awful. Budget friendly, yeah. Very, very budget friendly. Do you think is that a good move for United, though, to getting him off the books, getting rid of him? I know it's all on loan, but there's an option to buy and things like that.
So United are a funny team at the minute, aren't they? Especially with sort of the Anthony getting rid of him, and then this situation they seem to find themselves in with Marcus Rashford as well, which is just bizarre.
Yeah.
Amorim is just, he's obviously not played him, not put him in the squad. He's saying that he's not pulling his weight in training. And then the comment at the weekend where he said that he would rather put their goalkeeper coach, I can't remember his name, who's 60 years old, or thereabouts, on the bench over Rashford.
It's insane. I feel like it's a bit of a deja vu situation at United at the moment, though, because Ten Hag did it when he came in and got rid of Ronaldo. He's obviously very influential. We know, obviously, De Gea did the same. And I appreciate Rashford, obviously not been on form for quite a while, but he's still quite a big presence in the dressing room. He's a big character. Everyone knows him. He does kind of represent United at the moment. Is this the same thing? Or is it just Amorim calling him out saying, actually, you're doing nothing here, mate. Pull your finger out. Like, is everything he's saying being legit, you know? Or is this just proving a point to say, I'm the manager and making a statement?
I think it's one of those things where if I'm another player... So I think there's two things. Amorim has come out and he's not played Rashford. And I think he dropped Garnacho as well for the first sort of 2 or 3 games that he had.
Yeah.
For not pulling their weight in training. And I sort of think... fair play, actually. He's come in, he's seen that there's big name players here and he's kind of making a bit of an example of them. I can understand that, as long as he treats them with respect that they deserve, then as human beings, then okay, fair enough, I can understand that. What I don't like is the public criticism that seems to be coming to the way of Rashford at the moment. Like, Rashford suffers so much criticism, rightly or wrongly, whatever you think, don't care. But he suffers he gets a lot of criticism. So now for a manager to come in and basically is throwing this guy under the bus, coming out saying that Man United, this is the worst Man United team in history, bearing in mind there is a Man United team out there that got relegated into the second division as it was then.
Yeah.
So I think I have all the respect that he gained from doing that. For me, he's lost because if I know that I'm on the back foot because I've done something shit, I don't think he's going to be there to protect me, and that's what I'd want in a manager.
Point. Yeah, really good point. It's just so tough because no one knows what's going on at the club, top to bottom. You know, I genuinely was thinking, United could be quite good in a couple of years now.
Yeah.
They've got all the right people at the top. You know, got people that are footballing people, sports people. They know exactly what they're doing. On the surface, appear like they haven't got a clue. And I think Amorim's a fantastic manager. I think it's the wrong club for him. I think it's the wrong club.
Yeah, I mean, mate, I think it's a bit of a poison chalice at the moment, isn't it? But
yeah,
if he gets them playing, then arguably it could be exactly what he needs to get himself elevated up there into one of the great managers.
Yeah.
I just don't like that. I just don't like the attitude. That isn't a management style that I would advocate for. I very much like, and I know I'm biased, but I do like Arteta's cultural change journey that he's been going on, and he doesn't criticise his players openly, but I bet he does behind closed doors, and I bet he's very constructive with it. Whereas what you're doing is you're going out and publicly slating human beings, and I just think it's football, and that's the norm in football, rightly or wrongly. It's the norm in football to take a slating, to take a slagging off, to be called all the names under the sun. But that isn't necessarily the right way to do it. So is he doing it the right way?
Yeah, not from your leader, your boss, your manager. You get it from like people like us. You know, 2 plums that do a podcast talking a lot of smack. It's fair enough. You know, it's part and parcel of it, unfortunately. And I think we draw a line. We're not abusive or anything. We'll slate someone if they had a bad performance. Like the stuff with David Coote, for example. You know, some of the abuse that he received, you know, he's come out, was it today or yesterday, with that statement.
We did an interview.
I was at an interview, was it? You know, one of the lines in there, which I think is just disgusting, was, I didn't receive death wishes. I received people saying that they wish that I was involved in a crash on the way home, stuff, that I was paralysed, so I'd suffer every day.
Wow.
Like, what is wrong with people?
It's
like, death wishes is disgusting, isn't it? Let's be honest. But shit like that's cruel. It's fucking vile.
Yeah.
And that's what's wrong with it.
It is. It is a strange thing. And I saw a few things, sticking with the David Coote. I did see some of the stuff that people were sort of bringing up of stuff that he said. You know, he's come out that he's openly gay. He was worried about that because he was worried about the abuse that he'd receive. You know, referees famously receive abuse. He's going to receive abuse in a very different way because of that. And then I sort of said, he's using the gay card. He's using this. He's using that. I think that there was just sort of lots of like discriminatory phrases that are being used towards him, and it's like, that's kind of proven the point.
Of course, it has. Yeah,
he's not excusing his behaviour because he's gay. He's saying, I struggled with that, and that's why I turned to drugs. Makes absolute sense to me. So why are you then calling him out on that? And you just think it's not. He's not saying this to get himself out of shit. He's in the shit. He's done wrong. He's openly admitted that. He's resigned. He's never going to referee again. He needs to crack on with his life.
He's got to rebuild. Yeah, he's got to rebuild his life completely now. And he's, I mean, credit where credit's due. As much as what he did was fucking terrible, we know that. But he's taking ownership and accountability of it and explaining, no, this is just explaining my position. This is what I want to do moving forwards. Like, fair play to him.
Yeah, and actually, right. So I think we spoke about it at the time. What he said about Klopp was probably what every fourth official has thought about every single manager who's shouting in their ear, in their face, and all that. They've thought about that all the time. He's just aired it. That's the only difference. Yeah. What he's done with drug abuse and all that sort of stuff is, it's up to people to do what people want to do in that situation. Hopefully he can receive the support now and he can get off the drugs that I think that that's what he wants to do. So hopefully he can do that. But still, he just spoke the truth. He called Klopp names, probably as bad as what Klopp's called him.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a really good point. I'm sure the manager will be able to abuse back. Maybe not to those extremes.
I'd hope
not. David Coote's been kind of taken advantage of a little bit. It was his friend that's recorded him. And albeit he's done it on video, silly mistake. I get that. Probably not what we do on the podcast. To be fair, most of the stuff we say could possibly be used against us in the future. But you don't think about that at the time, especially if you're under the influence and you're going through something. That's not going to be the first thing that crosses your mind. But he's been punished.
Well, and it goes back to what you were saying earlier about us two going on here and talking about what we talk. We're on here to put our version of events, to put our opinions forward, and people can listen, agree, not agree, write into us, let us know whether they agree, not agree, and that's kind of what this podcast is about. Is we're almost that we're trying to grab those headlines to get the attention, to elevate our podcast and people to hear our views, because that's what we want to do. That's why we're doing it. Amorim, Coote, all those sorts of people are out there grabbing the headlines. Is that really what they want to be doing? Does Amorim want to be grabbing headlines by saying this is the worst Man United team that's ever existed? Does he really want to be doing that? Probably not. And if he does,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, is he trying to buy himself some time? I know we spoke. I think it was last week, week before about it. He doesn't need that card. He's got the time.
Yeah, I know.
He's a new manager coming in with he's inherited a pretty awful squad that don't fit the system he plays. It's going to take 4, 5, 6 windows probably to get realistically all the sort of key components in place and then improve the team from there and get your current crop of players used to a different style of play, because it's not similar in any way. It's a totally different system. So yeah, it seems very strange. It seems very strange.
Yeah, it is. So I have a question for Man United fans. What do you want? Do you want Rashford to leave? Do you want him to stay? What do you want? Let us know. What is our email address, Ben? Because we've asked people to let us know lots of stuff in this episode.
balldroppodcast@hotmail.com.
Thanks.
There you go. Drop us a message. Let us know on socials. The DMs are always open, guys. Always open.
Okay. Are you ready to go through the weekend's games?
Yeah, let's go through a couple of crackers, shall we?
Are you, listeners, ready to see two furious Arsenal fans?
Yeah, I was going to say. What do we open with? Wolves versus Arsenal. Miles Lewis-Skelly, red card or not? I posed the question to you, my glamorous co-host.
I think that when I saw the replay back, because it was a 3 o'clock kickoff, so it wasn't on telly, so there were a few things. You can get a video on Twitter and understand Wagwan. When I saw that, when I listened to when I was watching Soccer Saturday, when I was listening to TalkSport, when I was listening to the podcast that I've listened to, when I've listened, heard, seen everything about it, there is absolutely no way was that ever in a million years a red card offence.
Yep, completely agree. It is, excuse the phrase, it's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. And Michael Oliver, yet again, I'm not saying he's got a vendetta against Arsenal. I'm not saying that at all.
But because
Just
other clubs...
lots of coincidences, isn't there now?
But every fan will say that the referee's got it in against them. And I understand.
Of course they will. Of course they will.
I do get that. And I'm not saying he's got a vendetta. And I don't think he's got a vendetta against Arsenal. If he has, then he's doing a really shit job of covering it up. But what I will say is that I think you've got Darren England at VAR who has agreed. So what I don't understand, right, is, and I think the PGMO have come out and said that they think it was a red card as well. So referees are sticking with referees.
It's disgraceful. Disgraceful.
Because they're saying, so his leg that he's scraped down, it's above the ankle, that's why it's a red card. But that is not in the laws of the game, that if it's above the ankle and it's a scrape, because it's not, it's no. Coming together. And Lewis Skelly has intentionally tripped him up because he didn't want Wolves to have the advantage. Get that. You're just outside your own box though. So it's not a goal scoring opportunity.
Of course it's not. It's a professional foul.
But it's a professional foul. It's not nice. It's a yellow card, definitely.
100%, yeah.
But if it's above the ankle, then it's a red card. How many times do you see players jumping for the ball and they're getting nicks on the knees, on the back of the leg?
Exactly. Look at the swipes on Saka. Look at the swipes on Declan Rice. We've been, I know it's just Arsenal, I'm just saying, but players have been booted, literally booted off the ball.
And
nothing at all.
With all of that in mind, how is there? So they obviously had a second yellow card for João Gomez. How was that a second yellow card and not a straight red?
Exactly. It just every fucking week we say consistency. It never happens in football. Never happens.
It is bullshit. And Arsenal have been really, really unlucky with these bullshit examples of poor refereeing where Saliba got sent off for accidentally headbutting Pedro.
Yeah.
At Brighton. Trossard hoofs the ball away a split second after the whistle is blown. And then when another team does it, it's sort of said, well, no, because there was Bukayo Saka was down on the floor. Well, when you sent Trossard off, Kovacic was on the floor. But that was okay because he hoofed the ball in the air just after the referee had blown it. So,
yeah. Declan Rice got in the way of something. Yellow card, second yellow, you're off. No. No. Exactly. He's literally been booted. The guy has made contact with him and it's his fault. It's fucking ridiculous.
Henry Lansbury did the same thing for who I can't remember who he was playing. Was it Middlesbrough?
Forest. Probably Forest.
Nah, Henry Lansbury doesn't play for Forest.
He used to.
Well, he used to, but he doesn't at the moment.
No, I think he's retired, isn't he?
Maybe it's not Henry Lansbury. But a player, I can't remember who it was now. I thought it was Henry Lansbury. In the Championship, the exact same thing happened, and he got sent off for kicking the other player. And who's the referee on Sky Sports?
Dermot Gallagher.
Yeah, and he said, and he's there explaining, no, that's definitely a red card for the player who's kicked the other player because he's kicked the other player, and that's not allowed. Whereas when Rice does it, well, Rice shouldn't get the ball away. It's like, what? This is insane.
It's ridiculous, mate. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I know. But it won't be spoken about as much because we got the 3 points.
Well, no,
if we'd lost that or drawn the game, it would have blown up even more.
It's been everything that everybody speaks about. I feel well and truly confident that people are talking about it. But, if we'd have lost the game, there would have been a lot more hype about it. I do understand what you mean. Yeah, Calafiori, banging goal.
Yeah, it was a good goal. It was a great goal.
But again, Arsenal lacking a striker. I mean, Havertz could have had a hat-trick in penalty.
I know 3 clear-cut chances he's missed in that game. But when we went down to 10 men, he did a fantastic job off the ball.
But he always does.
He always puts a shift in. And it's I know I feel like I'm a bit of a broken record at times, but he's not a striker. We can't keep moaning at him for not finishing chances. But equally, you're a professional footballer. You need to be able to bury... I feel like he should be burying a few more of the chances he's getting. That's all. I'm not saying he's doing a bad job, because I genuinely don't think he is.
No. Because if Arsenal are going to win the league, right? So if Arsenal are going to be real serious league challenging for that title, then we need the whole team to be scoring. So that isn't, if we get a striker, say if we signed Haaland tomorrow, it doesn't mean we're going to rely on Haaland to score all of our goals. It just means
No.
you've got that threat there to score 1 or 2, get 25, 30 goals a season. Fantastic, but you're still going to have the other players scoring goals. Odegaard needs to step up and score more goals. Havertz
He
needs to
really
score more
does.
goals. Martinelli needs to score more goals. Trossard needs to score more goals. Thomas Partey can hoof a ball in. They all need to score more goals. It's not just about getting a striker, but Havertz, as that central man, gets a lot of opportunities that he doesn't convert. That's the problem.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, mate. Completely agree with you. And he needs to work on his finishing. I think he knows that. I think everyone knows that. It's clear as day. But in terms of actual performances throughout the season, there's been a lot of attention on us not finishing chances and not doing as well, blah, blah, blah. We're only 2 points behind where we were this time last season, without Saka for 2 months.
Without Odegaard,
Without Odegaard for 2 months, yeah.
Saliba we missed for a few
Ben
games.
White we've not had the entire season either.
We've had some serious injuries.
We have, and it's not all doom and gloom.
No.
But annoyingly, Liverpool is still flying.
But Liverpool are flying. I think Bournemouth had 10 players injured. And Forest, who have been the second, third best team in the league this season, 5-0.
Bournemouth are in sensational form. And I do fear for them in the summer.
Oh, yeah, that team's going to get fucking separated.
It's going to be picked apart, isn't it?
Without a doubt.
But yeah, what a performance. I mean, 5-0 against a really, really good Forest team that do not ship goals.
Bournemouth are missing their players and they've got Atara coming in and scoring a hat-trick. Cliver got a hat-trick last week and he scored again. I think the second Atara goal was very good and is arguable for goal of the week. I think there's another couple of contenders, but
yeah, I agree with you on that one. Where do Bournemouth finish this season? Is Europe too much for them?
No, definitely not. I think that Europe is definitely a thing that they can do, and I think they will get it. I think they'll get at least Conference League, and next season we could see a trouble because I can see people coming in for Semenyo. I can see people coming in for maybe Evan Nilsson, maybe not. They might be able to keep hold of him, but they've got
Howson, that defender, done really well.
He is the one, isn't he? He's the one that everyone's looking at. Yeah.
So yeah, I do fear for them because you kind of get that European hangover, especially look at Newcastle when they got into Champions League. Their form in the league was awful. Villa have been a bit hit and miss as well this season in the league. I fear for Bournemouth. It's great to get into Europe, obviously, and they'll enjoy it, but they'll need some real depth, and they'll need to use a lot of their youth players, I think, won't they?
Yeah, certainly, yeah. But, they've shown that they've got depth in their squad. So, yeah, great. Yeah. And Forest had a bad day. There was definitely a bad day for Forest, but no, fair play to Bournemouth. They did well. Shall we move on to the next game? Shall we go to Brighton-Everton? Because there was a controversial incident in that, wasn't there?
Yeah. One, David Moyes is working miracles.
Yeah, we actually got
absolute miracles.
Good feedback on socials about Moisey. People are buzzing to have him back. Evertonians are happy Moisey's back. They are loving it up there with him.
That's really interesting to see because he's obviously doing well as well.
I think it's like nostalgia, the fact that Dyche ball is probably the worst football that you can play. But I understand why he does it, don't get me wrong. But I just think everybody just wants Moisey back and is happy up there, which is great, going into their new stadium. What I don't think they'd appreciate is a seagull celebration getting yellow carded.
Yeah, do you know what? I don't understand why it's a yellow. I know you're winding the crowd up, but Jamie Vardy is king shithouse, who has done the exact same celebration against the exact same team and got nothing.
Yeah.
So why has Ndiaye got this? I just don't get it.
I don't know. I really don't know. But he got the penalty. He scored it. He celebrated. He got a yellow card. It's insane. But it was absolute shithousery.
It was.
But the king of shithousery struck again.
You do it. I just knew he would score. And he's always going to point to that Premier League badge. Zero. I just love it.
So
I love
good.
it so much.
It's so good.
Dear.
It's just because everybody gives him shit because they know that he's going to give it back, and then they hate it when he does. But I mean, Tottenham Hotspurs are a team in absolute turmoil. I can't describe it any other way. The only thing that they have got that is keeping Ange in a job, and we like Ange, and we know that the Tottenham fans have. I don't know about you, right? Going for a tangent a little bit, but it seems to me that the Tottenham fans have only just figured out that maybe it isn't these different managers that can't get Tottenham to work.
Yeah.
They've kind of now pointed it at Daniel Levy, haven't they? And they're calling for him to leave. I know he's been on and off with Levy, but I feel like at the minute they're really against him.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's when they got rid of Mourinho, that was when it was, what the hell are you doing? Like, yes, the football's crap, but this guy can win us a trophy. And you've got rid of him days before the final. What the hell? Why would you do that? Blah, blah, blah. Obviously, there's clearly shit going on behind the scenes of that. Contract clauses maybe, was always rumoured, whatever. But yeah, it's got to be something deep-rooted in that club or led by Levy. Because, and I can't remember, it was one of the podcasts I listened to a little while ago. We were just saying, like, with Tottenham, in terms of their recruitment, they've bought some great players. They have bought some really good players, but they don't necessarily buy the best players. And what they tend to do is try and buy a player that will still have resale value. Mm. So they're trying to be that kind of both clubs. So you're never going to reach the top. Like Chelsea will buy players. You have to buy young players, blah, blah, blah. But historically, they always bought the best players to win the league. Arsenal started to do that with Declan Rice. We didn't spend 100+ million on Rice in the hope of selling him in 3 years' time.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
I think the interview you're talking about was Harry Redknapp, where he's obviously manager of Tottenham, and he said that he was he had been manager of Tottenham. I think he was the manager of Portsmouth, and they went in for Darren Anderton. And he said, as with everything with Daniel Levy, you go in for Darren Anderton, but you come out with Mendes and I can't remember who the other one was, but it was like a buy one, get one free kind of deal, because that's what you get with Levy. Like, he is a businessman, always thinking about the business, and Tottenham is run like a business, I guess, and maybe that's what it is. But I think Ange is only in a job because of that 1-0 lead in the first leg of the Carabao Cup.
I agree, because they're 15th or 16th in the league. I'm sorry, that and as much as we bash Spurs, that is not good enough for Spurs. That is far from good enough for Spurs.
13 losses, 3 draws, 7 wins.
That's awful. I mean, they are, if they keep this up for another 4 or 5 games, they're genuinely in the relegation battle. Now, I know that they've got a huge buffer at the moment, and I'm not saying they are at the moment, but their form is relegation form.
Definitely.
I don't know, that sounds extreme, blah, 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 but 1 point out of 21 available is disgraceful.
They're 8 points off 18th. And
scary.
19th, actually, because Wolves and Ipswich are on the same point. So, yeah. I mean, their goal difference is incredible, but in comparison. But
they could always score goals. That's not a doubt. It's just leak goals like hell.
And he's had a lot of injuries, but I still feel that Tottenham team should have beaten that Leicester team, because that Leicester team isn't...
Well, no, they were off the back of, 7 losses back-to-back, weren't they?
Yeah.
Before this.
Yeah. And
Tottenham are at home. That's your home ground.
Yeah. And it started well, because...
They're all over him. Yeah.
Richarlison scored, they were all over him, they're playing well. They again, injuries. But was it James Maddison who was feeling sore?
Something like that.
It was like, where?
Yeah. Well, it's like, I can't remember, someone came out and said it. It's like, look, we're tired, but the players, we've got to just own up to this and play. It's like, the schedules are tough, blah, 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 but we're professional footballers and our teammates are injured, so we need to step up for them till they come back. And they do. Like, they really do. But they've got an academy. They've got a very good academy. You're going to have to use your youth players. If your players are that tired, you've got to do it.
Yeah.
Arsenal were doing it. We've got youth players on the bench. Miles, Lewis Skelly's come into the team. Waneri's come into the team quite often this season. In the Cups, we've had a few more youth players coming in as well. They're on the bench more because we've got injuries. They've got to step up. They're in first team training. You've got to have that constant supply of those backups.
No, I agree. Yes, it certainly is a funny one there, but I can't take anything away from Leicester. Jamie Vardy got quite fortunate, but maybe you could class it as skillful with that first goal. Then he just smashed it and then went up, gave a bit of shit to the fans, loved it, and then El Kanous just had so much space to just get the ball and run with it and slot it into where he wanted to put it into. I just thought
you shouldn't have that much room, should you? You just shouldn't have that much room.
No.
But yeah, Leicester did really well. I think Rude's on the verge of leaving, or rumours have it, because he was promised signings, and obviously they've not. It was promised like substantial signings and significant signings, and not much is happening. So there are rumours flying around that he might just walk out. I think after a win against Tottenham, might keep him a little bit more appeased for a little while. He might potentially show the board, hang on, I can get some wins here. Give me some better players as well that I want, that will fit the mould of what I want, and I could do more. But it's obviously there's lots of turmoil at Leicester at the moment. Lots of stuff behind the scenes that season ticket holders are finding out more about through the supporters clubs and stuff like that. So I'm finding out a bit more about it. So hopefully I can get a bit more info for you for next week on that.
Oh,
inside source. Inside source. But yeah, just trying to explain
Sauce
that.
as well.
Ben Sauce as well. Love it. But yeah, so it's just interesting to hear like behind the scenes what the fuck's actually happening.
Yeah. Okay.
So, just have it summarised.
Fair play. Yeah, no, fair. I love that. City Chelsea was a good game. I watched that with Jackie Boy. We had a nice afternoon of football. I thought Chelsea started well, although there was a little bit of a gift, wasn't there, from debutant Kusanov.
Yeah, I feel for him. He's been thrown in after one or two training sessions. He doesn't speak English, doesn't know his teammates really at all. But I think that's just proven a point to maybe some of the other players that aren't performing for Pep. It's like, well, look, he's come in. He's going to be the future if you don't step up.
I think there's an element of that. He did say he didn't want John Stones to play for a full game because he wants to save him for Wednesday because obviously they have fucked it in the Champions League.
Yeah. Mate, do you think... Sorry, just got off tangent quickly, but I don't think he's under pressure as such, but that's a huge failure if they don't progress, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they'll just get knocked out. They won't even get demoted. They'll get knocked out of Europe.
Yeah. So they'll get knocked out. They... So one, was it Feyenoord? They were 2-0 up against Feyenoord.
Yeah.
They were 2-0 up at PSG. Lost 4
within 2 minutes, they conceded 2 goals after them scoring.
Yeah, it's insane what has happened. And again, you look at their team. Kusanov, we don't really know too much about in a sense of what he's going to do for Man City because he's young, doesn't speak a lot of English. First, used Becky to play in the Premier League. So well done on him on his move, but kind of fucked it for himself a little bit early on. He'll come back from it. He'll learn from it, and that's the important thing.
Of course he will. Yeah.
Omar Mamouche was quality in the game.
I'm really, really annoyed at this. City don't need a striker, so they've signed a striker. Arsenal need a striker, so we're signing a midfielder. Yeah. But City are making some good moves in this window as well, because Pep knows that they've not bought enough. They didn't buy really anything in the summer. They got Gundogan back on a free, and I think they signed someone else, didn't they? But they've made 4 signings in January. All seem to be young players for the future, apart from Mamouche, who's obviously going to be coming in pretty much a starter.
Yeah.
Why aren't other teams doing this? They're so proactive. Like, bang. They just signed another defender today, and they're back on loan for the rest of the season to Lens. So they're preparing for John Stones going, because he ain't coming back, is he? He's constantly injured. Akanji's been poor this season.
Yeah, Walker's obviously gone.
Yeah. Which is insane. Have you seen his buyout clause? It's like 4 million or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 4.3 or something like that. Facey man want to sign him on a perm. Insanely little money.
That is, isn't it? Arsenal should sign him and put him up front.
Why not? He's got the pace. One in behind.
He did, not against
Well, yeah.
Traore. But no, I thought City played very well after they got their equaliser. You know, Chelsea could have gone 2-0 up. Palmer decided to pass the ball, and I think it was Sancho couldn't quite put it away. But anyway, one of those. But yeah, it was a good performance in the end by Manchester City. Mainly for me because Chelsea was so high up the pitch. It was so easy to get in behind them, and it happened. They got done, and then they didn't ever learn from it. I think right until the end, they just stuck with that that position, and you think you've been fucked by that twice.
Yeah, You
got. I mean, Sanchez did help City out, of course, but you know,
oh my God, yeah, Sanchez is. I don't understand how he's number one.
No,
I really don't, and I know. Speak to a couple of Chelsea fans, they're like, he's done. Like, he can't be starting anymore. Get that Jorgensen in. He's played in the conference. I know he's not been really challenged too much, but you've got to give him some game time now because Sanchez is making there's 5 errors this season that have led to goals. 5. That's way too many.
It's what happens with a goalkeeper, but I do see your point. If you've got 37 other goalkeepers who are chasing your position down, you're probably going to get one of those come and take your position, aren't you?
Of course you are, exactly. It's there for the taking, isn't it, at this point?
Should we leave it there?
Yeah, I think so, mate. Thanks for listening, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it.
Thank you.
We will be back next week for the FDP short, as we mentioned earlier, as well as our usual. And we have got a speciale being released soon. So keep your eyes peeled for an additional app.
Take care.
Cheers, guys.